Hi there, my name is Matt Schaefer, and today I'm going to be discussing the fading effect bias. Now, when you hear fading effect bias, you're not really sure what that means fully. But in simple words, what I can explain it as, it is an automatic way to forget bad memories compared to your best memories that you've experienced throughout your whole life. Now, when you think of that, you think of what it could be used for. It could be used for various things, maybe just like a bad memory of this or a bad memory of that. But what it's specifically used for is actually used to make your life better by giving all these negative memories an exit out the door, just saying, get out, we don't need you anymore. We're going to give you the good memories. We're going to leave you with happiness in life. Now, how often is it when you think of your high school graduation, for example? Do you remember those bad memories at all? Absolutely not. You try to think of all those good memories, try to make yourself happier, try to make yourself think, all right, that was a great time. I'm glad I absolutely enjoyed that and glad I experienced high school throughout those 4 years. The reason we're able to forget these bad memories is called the fading effect bias, which is probably the most unique ability of our own mindset that we do unsubconsciously that allows us just to forget all those bad times. Every day you have these thoughts, whether you just daydream or just simply just like want to remember something that was incredible that you experienced in life. If you had a bad experience, you just can't seem to remember that you really don't want to remember, then that is where your brain starts to automatically forget it for a benefit of you. The fading effect bias is actually an occurring event every minute, every second, every hour of every day for you. So your mindset is already doing you a favor by continuing on with this process every minute and working hard to make sure that you don't have more bad memories than good memories. Throughout this detail of explaining, I'll get you a better explanation of what this effect does and how beneficial it is to your daily life without you even knowing it. So, what makes it easy to remember all the bad times? Absolutely nothing. People don't stick with those. People don't think, oh, I remember this. I had the worst time here. No, you think of all the good times because you want to be happier. Of course, this can relate to relationships. Now, we've all been through that, a bad breakup. We have the great times with that person. We can even say that they were like the most fun person we've ever had, whether it comes to colleagues or whether it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend, whichever you prefer. And honestly, I don't remember all the bad memories of my personal experiences, except for one, maybe. But to be honest, everything we do with who we spend our time with, whether it's best friends or whatever we do, we just remember all those great times, remember how good of a person that person was. And all these things we did. Like for me, my best friend, we went boating, we've taken trips to Florida, we've taken international trips. And sure, we may have encountered a few bad things, but personally, I don't remember those bad times. And that's where my brain connects to my like inner self saying, like, you know what, forget these. These will make you happy, out the window. And all these good memories stayed in my head, and I'll remember them for the rest of my life. And I'm thankful personally that I forget all those bad times. But for you, you may have had the worst times. You may have had, some like the worst thing that could ever happen to you, maybe the best thing that ever happened to you. Whatever happens, you're going to have more of those good memories than bad memories, which is also how your brain helps you. Now, this, can't just be correlated to past relationships. They can also be related to, just everyday fun events, like let's say a birthday party. How many birthday parties have you remembered where you can say, oh, this was so much fun when I was 5 years old? I had a Spider-Man birthday party where we had paid someone to come dress up as Spider-Man, all these cool tricks, but you don't remember all those bad times. Like let's say your friend forgot to wish you a happy birthday. You don't remember that because they probably did it the next year, the next year, the next year, and they remembered. And you remembered how they remembered the fact that they always had you on their minds. Just that one time is already not something that you're worried about because you forgot that and just faded right out of your mindset. Now, if you want to talk about a Disney trip, like a vacation there, now you'll remember that is the most exciting place to go as a kid if you like roller coasters and thrill rides. Now, of course, for me, I loved Disney up until high school. Disney was one of those places where I could go every single other year and still think I'm just like the brand new to this. Tell me what to do. I'm like, what's new? Like what to do? Everything. And you just remember going on all these rides, taking all these fun trips, those car rides, the lunches, everything you will remember, just because those good memories are going to remain with you compared to the bad ones. And let's say you slipped and fell. No one's going to remember that. Because people are going to say, oh, but wait, we had these fun times. That's going to replace it. Now, when you think of that, of course, it is beneficial. And now you kind of have a better realization of the fading effect bias. But one other thing that it can be beneficial for is actually for recognizing people such as reunions, like a family reunion. So, for my example, I recently reconnected. Oh, well, we had a family death that occurred, actually, two over the past few weeks. And all our family was together. I saw people who I haven't seen since I was 3 years old. Now, 21 years ago, of course, I don't remember any of those people at all. In fact, I didn't even recognize their names. They looked at me and said, oh, hey, Matt. And I just kind of stood there like a deer in headlights saying, should I know you? I'm sorry. But once my parents told me, like, oh, you did this for them, you did this for them, slowly I actually did start remembering a little bits and pieces of them and just like stories about them. And I've never heard a single bad story because I haven't seen them in so long. Why would anyone talk bad about them? Of course, they were great people. And, like of course, we love them, part of our family. So I immediately started connecting with them, like telling all these stories. And I had all these great memories through like the ages of like, 3 to 10 years old. And I barely saw them too, which is funny because I don't remember all those bad experiences where they weren't there. Now, if we're talking about just family, it can also correlate to, let's say, high school reunions or seeing someone you haven't seen in years. Now, for me, another example is I just reconnected with some person that I knew through high school, and he's actually a musician, which is something I want to be when I'm older. Now, of course, not yet because I'm just beginning, but I remember this kid was the nicest kid as can be, and he always helped me in class, whether I had trouble, whether I was struggling with something. All I remembered for him was that sometimes he may not been the nicest person, but I never realized that, like, oh, he said this to me. He never did any of that I remember of. He was always helpful. This is what I will always remember him as, just this person who's always there when I needed him. And now that I met him again, we're starting talking again and we're great friends now again. So if you had this experience, this is called the fading effect bias, where you can just replace all those memories with positive things and not in a way have someone talk negatively about that person or think negatively of that person. Now, what you decide to do is not something that you can control. Honestly, you're doing all this so subconsciously that you don't even know that you're doing it. And just your brain almost working as like this engine, just saying like, nope, nope, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're in, you're in. It's just this constant filtering of what's bad, what makes you happy. It's like a therapist saying like, what makes you happy? All right, we're going to toss that out. What makes you not happy? All right, we're going to do this. It's all this like filtering, just making everything so beneficial for you. That's what I found really interesting about it. But this effect is beneficial in life because that unique ability just to like make you be your happiest you that you can be. So again, just know that every second, every minute, every hour, whatever you do, you're experiencing this exact effect. It's a psychological effect that is like really interesting the more you think about it, how your brain is just automatically doing this. So in the end, I think we should all be grateful that this effect occurs in our head, because if not, we'd have to do it ourselves. And that's, of course, never easy. Last thing we need to do is bring ourselves down each day. This is something we don't need to do, just having all these bad memories. And, everything we do is just here to make good memories now at this point of our life, because, since Corona, like, you never know, like, if you're ever going to see anyone last again. So why not have all these great memories of people just so that it makes them happy and you happy? So in the end, just know that this is always going to be beneficial. Thank you.